Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome back to Global Distance Club. Today it's just me. Anatoly's computer doesn't really work, so I thought instead of doing an exploration, what we usually do, I do something a little bit different today. I come across so many people who are new to Second Life, and they usually get lost the first few days because they don't know what to do. Their avatar looks kind of strange. They don't know where to look, maybe for free stuff, because initially you probably don't have any money in Second Life. So I want to explain a little bit about that, how to get from the beginner avatar that you get when you start Second Life from what I look now. And for that I have to get up. By the way, this is not my home. I'm in a dressing room. So, and you can stand here. So, what I'm going to show you today is how to change your avatar to something that looks similar to this, what I look like now. What I do first is I'm going to change back to the beginner avatar if you go for a male avatar. So most of the stuff I will explain is for male avatars. They are generally having a harder time in Second Life because most of the people who are in Second Life are females, or at least they have female avatars. So I would say 60 to 70% of all avatars in Second Life are female avatars, and the rest is male. Well, not the rest. There is also a percentage of aliens, furries, so-called furries, so they look like animals, and some robots or whatever. You can be whatever you want in Second Life. But today I will stick with human avatars. So let me switch back to what I looked like when I first came into Second Life. That is Greg, by the way. You can choose between, you have a choice of several avatars, male or female avatars, but that is basically what you look like when you first come into Second Life. Not the prettiest one. Looks like someone from the 80s with a radio. I mean, you walk around with a radio like that today? Probably not. People have a smartphone to listen to music. But I'm here to explain to you how you could look basically for free. So what I do today is how to get started in Second Life with your avatar. That is actually what you do first, because you don't want to walk around like that because everyone recognizes you as a so-called newbie. And very often you have a strange walk. So let me see if the walk works. Yeah, that kind of works. It has a very basic animation, walking animation in it. It's not too bad, but let me show you what it looks like when I switch it off. Then you have the typical duck walk. So now I switched the animation off, and look what. So you really walk like a duck. That is not really nice. I mean, some people don't mind, so they might be in Second Life for 10 years or even longer, and they still look like what their avatar was on the first day. But I think most people want to look a little bit nicer. And that is what I'm going to explain to you today. So let me put on the animation again so we walk a little bit nicer. Okay, we have to start to find some free stuff. And for that, I'm going to show you a few locations where you can get free stuff. Basically, well, you have to start with an avatar, so-called mesh avatar. This is a classic avatar. It's pretty old. That is what you kind of looked like when you first started in Second Life many years ago. You can see that very easily when you look at the hands. The hands are not really defined. I mean, they look already a little bit better. Look at them, but they look kind of strange. They are very edgy. They have these corners. It looks like a bad cutout, kind of. Otherwise, this avatar is okay. You can live with it, but we want a nicer one. So, and as usual, I put all the links under the video. So if you're interested, if you are a so-called newbie in Second Life, just click on the links. That will bring you to the locations that have basically free stuff. Sometimes you might have to pay $1 Linden. If you don't have any money in Second Life, maybe a good tip is, you need that $1 Linden. Many people are really nice in Second Life. So if you ask someone, I'm new to Second Life, and they can actually check that in your profile that you are the first few days in Second Life, can you maybe give me $1 Linden? And most people would actually do that. Yeah, okay, let's get over to Brazil. Brazil has a really, really good community. They are around for quite a long time already. And they also have lots of really nice freebies. So let's go there. Okay, so we have to look for the free stuff, and you see that they are already freebies. So we go over here. So what you do before you walk into the building, you have a look here, because we need a new body basically. And since we are trying to have a nicer male avatar, we are going to click on this board. So this is max for the male avatars, and you can also get Valentina here. That's from the company Altamura. So they provide mesh full body avatars with a head. Everything comes in one package, and it's free. You click here on the board, and that will automatically teleport you to the men's department. And you land right in front of the boards where you find the avatars. So, and they actually have two avatars. One has a lighter skin tone. That is the one we are going for today. And that is a darker skin tone. Just left click on the board. In this case, you can't see that. Yeah, well, I can actually show you. Let me put it inside. So you get a pop-up. And if you don't want to pay the $1 Linden, because when you right click, it gives you a pay option. Let me do that too. See? Can you see that on the live stream? I don't know. So when you go for the pay option, when you do a right click, it says $1 Linden, and you would get it back. But if you don't have a Linden, it doesn't work, and you can't pick up the bodies. So the trick is left click on the board. That will bring up a menu similar to this one, and click on deliver. Most of the time that will work. So we click on deliver. You wait a moment, and then you have to accept, and then you get the folder. It's a compressed folder that you have to unpack, like unzipping something in if you download a program, for example. Very similar. you accept that. I've already done that, so I don't need that again. And the next step is very often, so the next step would be if you are in the Firestorm viewer, you click on Control I. Sometimes you have to click twice. You go to the Recent tab, and under Objects, you have a folder. It's called Altamura Max Metal Full Body Gift 1, or Gift 2 if you go for the darker skin. You right click on the file and you add it. And most of the time, because you have to unpack the file, it works. So you get a pop-up, accept, and then you have the unpacked folder in your inventory. I've tried that earlier on. In this case, it doesn't work. So if it doesn't work, there are a few tricks, but I don't want to make it too complicated today. So in that case, because it doesn't work, we have to go to a so-called sandbox. A sandbox is basically an empty piece of land. Just click here on the teleporter and we have to go to the sandbox. It's a cool animation. Okay, we have arrived. Still the same sim, but we are in a different place. Okay, now we go to the sandbox. It actually tells you sandbox. The sandbox, what's special about the sandbox? If you've never done anything in Second Life, very often you have to unpack the files. If you buy something, nowadays, if you add it to your avatar, it usually unpacks it without going to a sandbox. But sometimes if it's an older file, you might have to find something to res, meaning to unpack the file. And for that, you need a sandbox. Everything that's compressed or zipped, if it doesn't work the other way, you have to go to a sandbox, or if you own land in Second Life, you could also do that on your own land, because there you have so-called resing rights that you will usually never have if you are on foreign land. But the sandbox has that enabled for you. So what you do now, you go back to your inventory, press Ctrl I again, grab the file that you just got and drag it to the ground. Release the mouse button and let me zoom in so you can see it. Now I I put it on the ground. That is actually the file. Sometimes it looks like a box, or it might look like a suitcase or whatever. What you do now, usually you already get a pop-up. It says accept. So that is the unpacking process. If it doesn't work that way, you can also right click on that item and click on open. That will bring up, let me do that, this menu. There you can see all the different files you need for your new mesh body avatar and copy it to your inventory. That is all there is. I'm not going to do that because I've already installed it and unpacked it. So and after you've done that, what you should do, that's good manners, always clean up after you. By that they mean pick up this item, otherwise this sandbox eventually gets full of all that stuff here. What you do, you right click on the item and you either take it, or what I usually do, because you can always have a copy, otherwise I get copies of copies of copies, I go to more and I click on delete. See, that will get rid of that, but you still have the original, the compressed file. Okay, now we have our unpacked folder, and for that, well, you could just change your avatar here in the sandbox. Or if you don't want that, if you don't want to get naked in front of other avatars, we could just go into a dressing room. So we started in a dressing room, and I will also put a few links for dressing rooms under the video. If you see this green sign here, it means there's no one inside, so you just walk inside. By the way, and usually in a dressing room you can also res your items, so you don't necessarily have to go to a sandbox unless you can't find a dressing room. You could also always also do that in a dressing room. That is very similar to a sandbox because you have resing rights, but someone unpacked something in here and left it here, didn't pick it up. That's not really nice because the owner has to clean up all the dressing rooms and all the sandboxes afterwards. But, well. So let me put the classic avatar in position. If you are on Firestorm, you can now let your avatar pose, so the avatar doesn't move around. You can either hop on this little thing here that will usually post the avatar, and that is usually in almost every dressing room, I think. And but if you are on the Firestorm viewer, you also have a built-in pose stand. For that, you go in the toolbar, go to avatar and click on pose stand, and that will pose your avatar and doesn't move anymore. So next step is very important. If you change from a classic avatar, so-called classic avatar, to a mesh body, doesn't matter if it's an early mesh body or a later one, it's always the same. You click on Control O if you are in Firefox, in Firestorm. Go to wearing. And now you have to take off everything you can take off. Everything that you can remove. You do that by right-clicking on all the items under the tab wearing. Let me take off the so-called alphas. So they are hiding something that's peeking through the clothes maybe, and you might see that in a moment. And then we take off the hair, the radio, the whole outfit. That's basically in this case is just one item. A moment. Yeah, king if works. Then we take off the animation overrider. Yeah, we take everything off that's possible. The shoes and the shape you can't take off. You can only exchange for another shape. The skin you can't take off. You can only replace it with another skin. And the brows you can't take off, and the eyes. Everything else. Oh, and if you are in Firestorm, you have a so-called Firestorm LSL bridge. That you should always leave on. Don't detach it. Oh, and the shoe base. Take that off. See, now the feet look slightly different. Let me zoom in a little bit. You can actually see it doesn't really look really good. So the toes, they look like painted on, and everything is very squarey. It's not really rounded. It has kind of edges. So especially the feet, look at that. I mean, the main body kind of looks okay. So we've taken off everything we can take off except the Firestorm LSL bridge. So what we do now is we go back to our inventory. So you click on Control I again. and you look at the unpacked folder. So we have now a folder that's called Altamura Max Bento Full Body Gift 1. You have all the different files in there. But we have to first of all hide our classic avatar. For that we add, and you usually always add to your avatar. Don't wear. Only in a few cases you actually wear. Basically when you want to exchange something for something else, but now we want to add. First of all, you add the alpha total body. Because we want to keep the eyes for the time being. Later on you can get more advanced eyes, better looking eyes, and then you can use the other alpha. I think there's also an instruction in there, a so-called note card. Yeah, see, it tells you how to put it on. So if you get lost, you can always open the note card. Okay, so the first thing is we add the alpha total body and add. Right click on the file and add. And in a second our whole thing will go away, except the eyes, because we need to keep the eyes. We don't have any other eyes, otherwise the new body wouldn't have any eyes, and that wouldn't look good. So let me zoom back in. So that's about right. Okay, the next step is we add the new body. We have to look for the body. That's called, in this case, looks like a little box. It has a logo of a box, a free bento full body tone 1. Right click on it and add. Well, you could now wear, and it might take a moment. Maybe, yeah. Let's teleport to the other dressing room. Hold on a second. Firestorm also has a region in Second Life. They have pretty good dressing room. So when you land here, you just click on changing room, and they have several changing rooms in the sky, and you end up in one that's hopefully empty. See, that's where we were before. And now it should work much faster. I might have to edit again. Seems to be stuck at the moment. Yeah, we have to start again. See, now I've removed the alpha, and you can see you see partly the new body, and most of it is the old body. So let me start again. Maybe something went wrong. So it's always a good idea if you change your avatar, the body especially, or the head or whatever, go to a region where you don't have lots of avatars, where it's not that laggy, because that might really have an effect on the changing process. So let me go back to the original avatar. And it even takes a time to put on the alphas, so the skin doesn't glitch through anymore. So let me undress that avatar again, take off, add. Okay, avatar has disappeared, and on the full body again, and body free add. See, and it worked straight away. So maybe one of the files was corrupted. In that case, you should delete the stuff and unpack it again. That's probably the best choice. So now we have to put on some clothes, because our poor avatar is totally naked, because you can't see the basic thong anymore. And you can take it off because it's not visible anymore. So it's not for this avatar. So what we do now, we go back to our classic avatar, and we First of all, we put on the old outfit ad. See, and when you look at the feet, they look totally different. So the toes are actually defined. You can look between the toes. You have real nails on the toes, and it looks much nicer, much rounder. In your folder of your Altamura new mesh body, you have a so-called HUD, and that is an alpha HUD. So this is the so-called alpha HUD. You add that to your avatar, and now the nice thing is, I don't have a lot of space here currently. Let me pose him again because out of the pose. Okay, so you can see that. See, the skin is glitching through the clothes because they don't really fit this avatar. Now, because we have the so-called alpha HUD, we can hide items, and these sections, so for example, if I click down here, it hides the whole lower body, as you can see. And now to the feet. So we don't need all the different alphas for the feet, for the pants, for the shirt. We just have this one alpha HUD. That's very comfortable. Now we have to hide the feet. Click on here and see, now the feet are gone. Next step. Over here we have to hide most of the arms. This alpha HUD is really good. And for free, it's definitely good. So we might have to hide this here because there's still something in the breast region. Yeah, that looks good. Let me turn him around. See, the back is still, you can still see all the skin. So we basically have to hide everything here. Green region, that, and we have to hide the shoulders too, because this outfit doesn't really fit the new mesh body. That's yeah, kind makes it a little bit more tricky because you always have to look in an ideal world. You should always go for the clothes that were made or measured for that kind of mesh body. As we are using an Altamura mesh body, you should always, if you can, go for Altamura clothes. From another brand, Slink sometimes works. TMP, the mesh body project, those clothes usually work. Yeah. And I think we are good here. I might have to look at that a little bit too much alpha out. So we have to bring out back the upmost part. And then you can hide all the tiny sections in between. See? And now I think it looks perfect. Yeah. So that way, by using alphas, you can also use other clothes from other companies. But, well, as we've just done, you have to alpha a lot. And see, when you look here on the side, you can actually look into the body. So we have to bring back a little bit. See, that looks already better. Yeah, maybe a little bit more here. See, so just cam around. That looks much better. Now you can see the I think that looks perfect. Okay, if you don't need the HUD anymore, Just detach it. That way you can see much more. And yeah, it looks pretty good. Let me put his hair back on. Greg's hair. I think it kind of fits. The hair is not really that bad. The ears are looking, peeking through the hair. So what you can do, right click on the hair, go into edit mode and move the whole. No, you can't move it. No, it's rigged. So it's rigged to the classic body. So you have to live with that. Sorry. But yeah, it looks pretty good, I think. So you still have the old eyes, and the eyes are actually also not that bad. But look at the whole face. I mean, the face looks at the moment very young, but you can buy beards to make it look older. You can add on body hair if you want. For this kind of body, it's a little bit trickier because you need so-called pliers. If you get the more sophisticated ones with bakes on mesh, that's a name for the next generation of mesh bodies, you can just use kind of tattoos. So and that's much easier. I'm not going to show you that today because I want to keep it kind of basic and not make it too complicated, because it might be a little bit too much information. But overall, I mean, our avatar looks pretty decent now compared to what we looked before. As you can see, we don't have an animation right now, so there are also animations in there, because look at the hands. They look really strange. They're in a very strange position. But overall, look at the hands. They look much nicer. You have real fingernails, but they don't move because we haven't added the animation. So go back to your folder with all the Altamura stuff. You have a facial pose HUD you can add. That's that little thing here. Let me zoom in on the face and look what happens. Put over a little bit to the left. I turn it on. Now we go through all the animations. And that you can't do with the classic avatar. I mean, the classic avatar also moves its mouth. Oh, this is pretty nice. So this you have to leave on. You can turn it off. Let me put it in a kind of neutral. A little bit of smile. And then we have another HUD that's called Altamura Max Hands AO HUD. Another one, you add it to your avatar. Comes up here. We move it a little bit higher. Well, maybe a little bit under that. And see what happens when I turn it on. What happens to the hands. And you should always add that, because otherwise it looks a bit strange. See? Now the hands are relaxed and they actually move. I don't know if you can see that right now. So it's usually slow movement, but they move. They're in different positions. And they are relaxed. Okay, and let me bring back, what else do we have? Facial AO. You can add all that stuff here. You don't have to do that. So your avatar would still be able to walk, but it looks nicer. And this should be the one that has a kind of animation that is randomly, so it looks different. So it goes in a loop, see? And it has different expressions. It goes through a loop. Sometimes it smiles, blinks. Looks much more natural. All that stuff you don't have on your classic avatar. And the last one, anything else? Well, you could add the eyebrows. The eyebrows you always have to wear because they get exchanged and different. No, not that much different. You can actually edit that too. What else do we have? The HUD I've already shown you. Oh, you have a face animation pack, so you have more advanced stuff. You can always reset if the face looks strange. Just double click on reset face, play in world, see, and now the face gets reset. Something goes wrong because it's an animation. Yeah, what else? We need an animation, and so the walking animation, we just put on the old one for the time being. You can also get free animations for sitting, walking, jumping, and all that. Otherwise, our avatar that looks so good, it walks like a dog. Well, this walk is not the best one, but it kind of works. Well, I could actually use my you can also bring in the animations directly into Firestorm if you want. That's a little bit more advanced. I'm not going to show you that today, but that would make the overall animation much nicer. So this is still pretty basic, so the walk is much nicer usually. Okay, let's go back to Ajuda Brazil for the last time. And let's look for some nicer clothes. Don't want to look. And you can also run when you double click, say, running. Oh, running too far. Let me go back a little bit because otherwise we have to walk up all the way. Just click here on that poster again, because that's basically the only flaw with male stuff. And well, they have briefs here, sweatpants, all the stuff. I don't know how much is actually for Altamura. Well, we could try that. So let me try the sweatpants here. Aesthetic. That's another body. That's a very muscular body. That definitely doesn't fit. So usually when you look at the posters, you can actually see what it's made for. Mesh avatars, classic avatars. Aesthetic is the very muscular one. That definitely doesn't fit. Sling and Adam might work. Let's see, can we find anything for Altamura? Beleza is another one. Yeah, Altamura is not that popular anymore. They're still making avatars, but the clothes are not so easy to come by. And the clothes are pretty good. Yeah, these suits here. Well, you could actually pick up one of these suits. Let me pick up the red one. So you either the best way, always left click on it, and it shows you it will cost you $0 Linden. Let me buy that. then you find it in under recent in your inventory. And hopefully we can unpack it right here. Where is it? Oh, it's already unpacked. Let me see. So you add it, and let's see if you see a box on your avatar. That means it's still compressed. See, but very often you can just click on it. No, that doesn't work. Let me do it another way. Edit content. Drag that over here. That's a little trick. Let me close that. Remove it. Detach. So let's see if the jumpsuit works. So you add the jumpsuit. And we also have an alpha for this. So we could use our alpha HUD. And we definitely have to take off all the other stuff. Let me do that. So you click on Control O for appearance. Go to the tab wearing, and we have to take off Greg's outfit, the 80s outfit. And look at that. We don't have the right shoes yet, but they look a bit strange. See, and our avatar looks pretty sophisticated already. Look at that. Not that bad. I mean, the shoes don't really fit, but yeah, it's kind of okay. So that was it for today. And let me switch back to my old avatar, my normal avatar that I have now. Now I can turn back on my animation. See, and now the avatar is relaxed. Yeah, that was it. And I turned on the mouth so you can actually see me speaking. Yeah, that was it. Hopefully it was a little bit helpful how to get from your starter avatar, from the so-called classic avatar, to a more advanced mesh avatar. And definitely come here, Ajuda, Brazil. Pretty good place for free stuff to get started in Second Life. Hopefully see you next week, and hopefully we have a few more members that we can do another mystery hunt or maybe an exploration. See you next week. Bye bye.